Although, I gotta be honest with you, it sounds like you're projecting you're the one that took off your underwear and you're pretending it was somebody else.
No, it was me. That's what I'm saying. I pooped my pants and had to take off my underwear. This is a full me shitting myself situation. Hey, I'm Blake.
And I'm Dave.
And this is the Season 3 premiere of First Prize Films, Dave.
Woohoo!
This is the podcast where we each select a genre-specific movie separated by at least a decade, and we pit them against each other, again now for the third season in a row, to find out which film wins the coveted title of First Prize. Let us know what that means, Dave.
Yeah, so it's like the coupons that print out after you shop.
Yeah.
That's pointless.
I like those.
Today we are losing our goddamn minds with these psychological thrillers. I made Blake watch Black Swan, a movie about the perils of ballet and mental illness, I guess.
Lots of heavy themes there. And I made Dave watch 1999's Fight Club, a movie about how to assemble an extremist cult in your sleep. So, Dave,
Yes.
Feels good to be back. How you feeling, man?
Feeling great. I enjoyed our time off, as little as it was, and as bored as I got. And
Bittersweet.
But now I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, me too, man. And we're hopping in with a really fun episode. I love psychological thriller movies. They're some of my favorite movies ever.
It's shown me a lot about who you are as a person, and explains quite a bit, really.
Deeply troubled and in need of assistance.
I imagine all the times that made me highly uncomfortable, you were like,
no comment. So you chose Black Swan. Why?
Well, because it was fantastic the first time I saw it. I really enjoyed this movie. Natalie Portman fucking knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
Mila Kunis is really good. This is the only Darren Aronofsky film I've ever enjoyed. So I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah, I think he's too weird most of the time. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. And I don't know, it's just like, you get to see, you know, Natalie Portman's character just lose her shit, and it's just a beautiful movie.
It is. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, actually. I love Darren Aronofsky. I love almost all of his movies, and so this is definitely one of my favorites. Natalie Portman won an Oscar for her performance in this film.
I don't doubt that for a second. She's incredible.
She's so good. So I'm glad we get to talk about it.
Yeah. So why did you pick Fight Club?
Fight Club, like Black Swan, is also one of my favorite movies of all time.
That tracks.
And I love this movie, man. I'm a huge fan of director David Fincher and Chuck Palahniuk, who wrote the novel.
Oh, yeah.
The movie didn't do well when it came out in theaters originally.
No kidding.
Yeah, and then it got a bad rap for a while because of all the, the dude bro frat guys who missed the point of this movie completely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that tracks for sure.
It's a great commentary, on a lot of things like toxic masculinity and extremism and late stage. Hilarious stuff is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
But I'm really excited to talk about these movies, and I think it's a strong way to start the season, man.
I think it's a fantastic way to start the season. And I know what a lot of people listening right now are thinking, like, Black Swan and Fight Club? Really? Those are choices together?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they're both psychological thrillers. And also, they're both about people who lose their fucking minds.
These films work really well together. I think they are a fun combo. So I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah. You know what? Let's get into our movies about people who have activities that are so sweaty they lose their mind.
Movie 1, Black Swan, 2010.
All right, Dave, give me the dark, brooding synopsis of Black Swan.
Dark Brute? Oh, shit, hang on.
Welcome to the world of ballet, where apparently everyone does the same few dances and people are insane. Watch as brilliant young dancer Nina Sayers loses her fucking mind from the stress of being the best ballerina there ever was. Will she be able to perform? Will she deal with her overbearing mother? Will she fuck Mila Kunis? You'll have to find out on your own.
leading as a synopsis for sure, but we'll get there.
That's how I roll. So we open to ballerina Nina Sayers, played by the wonderful Natalie Portman, dancing Swan Lake with a fucking demon in like a dark dream sequence. A dream sequence that she wakes up with a smile from. I'd personally wake up in a pool of fierce sweat, but whatever.
Dude, I love the sequence so much. It's such a great atmospheric intro, and it's all all spooky and shot on 16mm film and the thing of my nightmares. It's great.
You're in a good mood.
He promised to feature me more this season.
You've been there long enough.
So after Nina has breakfast with her mother, she makes her way to the dance studio on like the creepiest sounding subway I've ever seen or heard in my life. And when she gets there, she listens to the other girls as they're talking shit about the outgoing star of the group, Beth, when enters Lily, played by the wonderful Mila Kunis, who is many a guy my age's celebrity crush, and I can neither confirm nor deny that I'm in that group.
She's not necessarily known as like an incredible actress per se. No offense, Mila Kunis is great, but she acts her ass off in this movie.
She really does, yeah.
Oh, soloist? I fucking miss my stop.
Now the girls are doing their warm-ups when they notice Thomas, the man in charge of the group, watching. Or I guess I should say leering at them like they're cheeseburgers and he's on a diet.
This dude makes me uncomfortable from the first frame I see him in.
I know, right?
We all know the story. Virginal girl, pure and sweet, trapped in the body of a swan. She desires freedom, but only true love can break the spell.
Hold on, what? I don't know this story. Do you know this story?
I do know this story, actually.
Oh.
I know the story of Swan Lake. Sorry.
Well,
Also, I think part of Tomas' scary appeal, besides like the turtleneck and the brooding and stuff, is his accent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you have this accent, but his voice is just, I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable.
so Blake is afraid of French people, and Thomas tells them that they're...
I'm francophobic. Leave me alone.
So Thomas tells the company that they're doing Swan Lake, which apparently is like super boring because everyone does it, but we're going to do it different. You know the whole story.
Yeah.
Also, the new Swan Queen is needed because apparently you can age out of ballet the same way you can age out of Chuck E. Cheese, I guess. I don't know.
It makes sense. It's like people age out of football. They take one too many hits to the dome, and in ballet, you take too many twirls to the kneecaps?
Toes?
I don't fucking know, actually.
Knees,
I was trying to make it make sense, but...
Good try.
What?
Nina kleptos her way into that Beth lady's dressing room, who is played by Winona Ryder, who is a klepto. And
I saw that. I saw where that came and went.
yep. And Nina, she steals some shit, I guess, to help her like get the role. I don't know.
It is weird. I'm not going to lie. It's a weird thing to do.
Right.
Don't do that.
Not so controlled. Seducers.
So later, as Thomas is thoroughly impressed with Nina's white swan, but fully flaccid over her black swan, Lily comes in and breaks Nina's concentration. Rude. And this actually ends Nina's audition entirely. So on her way home, Nina passes another woman who has like her exact face, but when Nina like double takes, it's just some random chick.
Spooky chick.
Regardless, she's upset that the audition didn't go well and decides to practice again at home. And of course, this backfires spectacularly as she rips back her toenail. Where is my vomit bucket?
Oh my God. Can I just say really quick? I had a toenail incident not too long ago.
Oh God.
That was not the same, far less extreme, but it made my toes literally hurt from sympathy pain.
Oof.
It's a visceral reaction it got out of me. It's gross.
I couldn't look. I was like, nope.
Nina, everything all right?
I'm fine.
Cut to the next day, and Nina has decided to just ask Thomas for the part, because, like, you never know, right?
Right.
And it goes about as well as you'd expect.
I can dance the black swan too.
Really? I see you obsessed getting each and every move perfectly right, but I never see you lose yourself.
And after Nina bites Thomas for being a scumbag and storms out...
Wait, she didn't just get told no and then, like, lunges and bites him. He kisses her.
Yes.
And as he's kissing her, she bites him, and he pulls back, and he got blood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although the image of her just reaching out, taking a bite out of Thomas is hilarious.
Like I said, he was being a scumbag, so she bit him. Is that not how you perceive that scene?
Ah! You bit me? I can't believe you bit me.
So after she storms out of that whole biting fiasco, all of the girls in the company realize that the casting has been posted.
Ooh.
And there's a whole tizzy, and because she thought that somebody else got it, she congratulated the girl, and the girl's like, what the fuck? Is this some sick joke? Yeah. But really, Nina finds out.
He picked me, Mommy.
She's so happy that... I'm sorry, did she say mommy?
She's 28, to be
And
clear.
she said mommy.
She said mommy.
That's weird.
Mommy.
Anyway, she walks out of the bathroom stall that she hid in for this phone call for some reason to find the word whore written in lipstick on the mirror. I guess it was the bite heard round the studio. So later, when Mom gets home with a cake, to celebrate. Nina tries to politely decline, but Mom is a fucking psychopath, I guess.
Fine. Then it's garbage.
No, Mom, don't. I'm sorry.
The relationship between Nina and her mom, it makes my fucking skin crawl, dude.
Oh, me too. Anyway, later, we're at like a big fancy party with all the theater's donors, I guess, where Thomas is showing off Nina while also telling everyone that Beth is Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon and is too old for this shit.
But as we all know, every great career has to come to an end. Beth is retiring at the end of the season.
Now Nina is in the bathroom dealing with a really bad hangnail that she pulls halfway up her finger. Where is my bucket?
This is the part that I knew was coming because it gives me nightmares to this day, and I closed my eyes and I went to my Zen place and waited for it to be over.
I absolutely couldn't look. Anyway, when she rinses her hand off, though, the wound is just not there. Ooh. So she obviously must get the crazy from her mother.
A spooky wound.
Hey, it's you. I don't think we ever officially met.
So Nina and Lily officially meet in a bathroom while Lily takes off her underwear and then begs Nina to stay in the bathroom with her. That's not weird at all.
It's not weird, and I'm not saying I've been introduced to people that way, but maybe I have, and I was drinking too much. And shut up, Dave. Maybe I pooped my pants a little bit. You just gotta take them off.
It's crazy when I can't tell the difference between a funny joke and a thing that might have actually happened to Blake.
Now you're getting me, Dave.
Where are you going?
Upper West Side?
Stop at my place for a drink. It's on the way.
So the next thing you know, the party is over and Thomas invites Nina over to his place when out of nowhere, old lady Beth pops up drunk as shit.
Oh, yeah.
What did you do to make him change his mind? Did you suck his cock?
Not all of us have to.
After the most brutal comeback I've ever heard in my entire life.
That was a total clap back. I was like, yeah,
Dude.
girl, get it.
Oh, she may be a scared innocent child, but she's got some fucking clapbacks.
Got bars.
Right.
You're not a virgin, are you?
No.
So there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
So Nina and Thomas are back at his place where he predators his way into asking about if she's a virgin and then tells her to go home and masturbate.
Great director, this guy.
I mean, honestly.
It's the accent. Whatever. Go on.
Right. So obviously Nina wakes up in the morning and is like, I'm not doing this. But actually, you know what? Maybe I'm going to DJ it up real quick. So she's spinning the clits of the 80s, 90s, and today.
Stop it.
So she wakes up and plays with herself pretty aggressively before realizing Mom is asleep in her room.
Oh, dude. That's the scariest part of this movie so far. Masturbating while your parents are in the room.
So the next day in the middle of rehearsal, we find out that old lady Beth walked into the street and got hit by a car.
Yeah.
And then fucking Tomas says she probably did it on purpose. Doesn't he know not to speak ill of the nearly dead?
Don't speak ill of the Winona Ryder, dude.
She might steal something.
Protect your wardrobe. Just saying.
Regardless, though, Nina decides she's going to go visit Beth in the hospital. You know, the woman who just called her a whore last night.
Good idea.
Anyway, she sees that Beth's legs are broken and freaks out, much like you or I would.
Yeah.
Though I'm pretty sure neither one of us would inspect a sleeping person's wounds, but I digress.
Yeah, like medically induced coma lady. And she's like, let me peek under the sheets a little bit. That's fucked up.
David, can I ask you a question?
Hey, leave me the fuck out of it.
Would you fuck that girl? No. No one would.
Oh, sorry, he's talking to the male dancer. Anyway, Thomas decides to harp on Nina for being a prude before he just storms off, right?
Yeah.
Leaving her by herself. Fast forward later to Lily walking in on Nina crying by herself, or as I call it, Thursday.
Aw.
You want to talk about it?
Is that our day?
Come on, Nina, he's a prick.
Wait, you don't know it.
Someone's hot for teacher.
So Lily botches making Nina feel better, like really badly. And now Nina is back at home in the tub, and she's going to give the whole playing with herself thing another go.
Every vagina deserves a second chance. Go on.
But you know what? Her brain is not having it. So she starts hallucinating in the bathroom. She sees herself looking down at herself in the tub. And then she sees her reflection making like an evil face, which causes her to like draw blood when she's cutting her fingernails. And there's a whole lot of yikes going on right now.
Lots of things happening, lots of confusing things happening. There's blood, there's doubles, there's tubs, there's masturbation. This goes deep.
You told Thomas about last night?
So the next day, Thomas is clearly irritated, and we find out that Lily went to him and told him to lay off of Nina. So Nina confronts Lily about tattling to Thomas about crying. And Lily's like, dude, I was just trying to help. And Nina's like,
Well, you shouldn't have.
so we're back at home with crazy mom, who tries to force Nina to show her the rash that she's been scratching at.
Yeah.
But Nina is literally saved by the bell because Lily just shows up at the fucking door.
Yeah, and to be clear, this rash thing that we're talking about that the mom's so concerned about, it's hinted at in the film that Nina's had a problem with this before.
Yes.
That she's had episodes. It's starting to seep back in. Obviously, we saw the double. We were in the bathroom. We saw the fingernail clippings. It's bad.
God, we saw her aggressively humping a pillow in front of mom.
That's how you know it's bad.
I feel really shitty about what I did, and I just really want to make it up to you.
So now Lily takes Nina out to dinner, where she realizes that Nina really needs to yank the stick out of her ass. And her solution?
One for you, one for me. What is it? You've never rolled.
Drugs!
Yes! Finally, somebody's taking my fucking advice.
Well, not really, because Nina's like, nah, I like this stick up my ass, thank you. And later, Nina comes back from the bathroom at the bar and watches Lily drug her drink with a couple of guys. And instead of storming out right then and there, Nina's like,
It's just a couple hours, right?
it's never a couple of hours, Nina!
Bro.
Actually, I wouldn't know. Blake, you're the expert. You weigh in.
It's never a couple hours. It's never just a couple hours. And second off, Nina's like that very sheltered girl, you know, like all through high school. She like did the right thing. She studied. She got good grades. She got on her own in college. And now she's Edward 40 hands stomping down the street.
So what are you guys working on now?
Swan Lake.
What's it about?
It's about a girl who gets turned into a swan, and she needs love to break the spell. But her prince falls for the wrong girl, and she kills herself.
After some painfully awkward small talk with the guys and crazy mom trying to call for like the millionth time, the drugs finally kick in and Nina starts rolling so hard I thought she was a runaway wheel on the highway.
Ba-bum, bum, bum.
By the way, in this flashing drug dance scene thing, they flash Nina as the Black Swan like makeup thing, and it's super fucking creepy when you notice it.
Oh, there's a lot of like little subtle things throughout this movie that like little eyes and motions and things that move and people that look like Nina as well in the background that aren't pointed out to. Oh, there's a lot to dive into visually with this movie.
Hey, what the fuck?
Suddenly, Nina comes to, making out with some weird dude in the men's bathroom, which is my worst nightmare of this episode.
It was my last night, anyway.
And she leaves in a panic, taking Lily with her to her mom's place.
You have any idea what time it is?
LA?
Where have you been?
There were two. There was Tom, there's Jay.
Be quiet, Nina.
And I fucked them both.
Shut your mouth!
After being confronted by crazy mom, Nina pulls Lily into her room and wedges the door shut with like a little plank of wood thing. And the two women start to have sex when in the middle, Lily's face changes to look like Nina's face. But seriously, that doesn't stop Nina from getting hers, you know, which is weird. But now that it's over, Lily has Nina's face again and smothers her with a pillow.
This scene was like so intense, and people talked about this scene for a very long time.
And honestly, like most of the time, it was usually dudes being like, "Oh yeah, Mila Kunis was eating out," but also like, did you pay attention what happened? It was fucking terrifying.
Right, this is not a sexy scene. Thank you, Dave, because I watched this movie with somebody and they're like, oh, like, here you go, you love Natalie Portman, right? I was like, no, this is not sexy.
No.
This is like a deeply disturbing film, and this is a scene wrought from somebody's deeply disturbed mind. There's nothing hot about this at all.
No.
Why didn't you wake me up?
It's so disturbing that the next morning, Nina has overslept super bad, and Lily is nowhere to be found. But when Nina gets to the stage, Lily is dancing in her place. This bitch! Listen, she couldn't get the part and had to drug Nina instead. You know what? I'm gonna let Nina tell her.
You put something in my drink.
Yeah,
And then you just took off in the morning.
in the morning.
Yeah, you slept over.
No. Unless your name is Tom and you got a dick. Did you have some sort of Leslie wet dream about me?
Hey Blake, quick question. Would you happen to know how to get a foot out of one's own mouth?
Great question. I'm the one to ask. Yet to find that out, though.
Well, in the meantime, maybe Lily didn't sabotage Nina, and maybe Nina hallucinated the whole sex scene, which is a huge bummer, but still, I got my eye on you, Lily.
I don't trust her.
And neither does Nina, because while she's dancing, she watches Thomas and Lily making eyes at each other. Probably maybe. I don't know what to believe anymore.
We are seeing through Nina's distorted viewpoint of the world, obviously.
Your final dance, you tasted your dream, only to have it crushed.
After the final rehearsal, Nina is getting fitted for her costume when she sees her reflection taunting her again. But we don't have time to deal with our psychotic breaks because Lily is here and she's been chosen as Nina's alternate or backup.
Yeah.
And Nina panics, chases down Thomas to tell him that Lily can't be the alternate because
She's after me. She's trying to replace me.
Nobody's after you.
Uplifting words coming from a man with that accent.
now Lily is practicing by herself when the piano player, who is just like, you know what, fuck this, I quit. Because, dude, use a stereo.
That's a question I did have. They have live performers here this whole time, and the piano guy was like,
I've got a life.
clunk, I have a life. And I was like, got him.
But honestly, he storms off just in time, too, because Nina's reflection starts taunting her again, and then the lights go out.
Hey, I'm still working in here.
And when she goes to investigate why the lights are off, she stumbles upon Thomas fucking Lily in the back room. Well, she actually sees Lily, but herself. And not Thomas, but that weird bird demon thing from the dream in the intro, which is super unsettling.
We might need to have like a bulletin board to explain this.
So this causes Nina to go visit Beth in the hospital again. For some reason.
Because.
And Beth doesn't take this well.
What are you doing here?
I'm so sorry. I know how it feels now. She's trying to replace me. What do I do?
You stole my things.
You know what Beth does? She takes a nail filer and just starts stabbing herself in the face before her face turns into Nina's face, causing Nina to run out of the room, drop the nail filer on the floor, and wait a minute, Nina had the nail filer? Was she stabbing Beth in the fucking face?
There's a lot of questions. That never gets answered.
Oh my god.
But yes, is what I choose to believe.
So Nina gets home and her psychotic break is really spiraling out of control. She sees Beth, the Beth-Nina hybrid, bloodied in the dark, and the obsessive paintings that crazy mom has of her in her room, all talking and eyes moving. Her eyes are turning red. Feathers are coming out of her rash, and bloody Beth-Nina charging her when it's actually her mom just being super concerned, and then her legs snapping backwards like that of a swan. Where is the extra strength unclench medicine?
Oh, dude, you literally just describing that scene gave me goosebumps. Like, straight up. Like, this is the most horror-centric part of this film.
Terrifying.
My show's tonight.
No. Oh, don't worry. I called the theater and I told them you weren't feeling well.
Well, it's the next morning, and it's that way because Nina has donked her fucking head on the bed frame, and she wakes up to mom trying to force her to sleep it off, which is, I guess, what you do with a mental breakdown, I guess.
Just
I don't know.
force them to stay in a room. Yes, that'll work.
Either way, Nina's not having any of it. She storms out of the house and makes her way into the theater. When she gets there, Lily is not happy to see Nina because she was about to dance as the Swan Queen.
Yeah.
And Thomas has to break the bad news to Nina.
I've already asked Lily.
Have you announced it? After Beth, do you really need another controversy? I'm here tomorrow, doing it.
Dude.
Now that she's basically blackmailed Thomas into letting her dance.
And he likes it. Like, you can see in his face, he's like, oh, there's that black swan bite, that we're getting. He's like, I'm all for this super destructive, shitty, awful behavior. Let's do this.
Right.
And Nina, this is her big moment, dude.
Yes.
So she's not going to let this go by.
She's on stage and crushing it as the White Swan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, until she starts hallucinating again, causing her to twist, and the man dancer holding her in the air drops her. But, okay, in his defense, though, have you ever tried holding a wiggling baby? It's impossible.
It's hard. I'm not saying I've dropped a lot of babies, but a few.
Between the two of us, felony levels.
Can you tell me what the fuck happened?
It wasn't my fault. He dropped me.
Disaster!
After the curtain drops for intermission, Nina goes to her dressing room only to find Lily, now in black, taunting her.
Yeah.
Then Lily's face changes into Nina's again, and it's a girl fight!
Leave me alone!
Only really creepy and brutal because in the middle of it, Nina's neck transforms and her eyes turn red, and then Nina stabs Lily to death, or I guess stabs herself because you guessed it! As soon as Nina completes the stabbing, the face changes back to Lily's.
It's my turn.
It's wild, dude. This is so crazy. So she hides the body in like her little closet thing and puts a towel under the door and it's like, whatever, we'll deal with this later. I gotta dance.
We're gonna cover up this murder and get back on stage as the Black Swan. But like creepily stare into camera as you do it.
Oh yeah, that part.
Either way, Nina completely transforms and absolutely crushes it as the Black Swan, getting a standing ovation from the crowd. And in the middle of said ovation, she storms off stage to make out with Thomas just for like a quick second.
That's a power move. She's making out with him against his will. Like, haha.
Right? On the second act break, Nina makes her way back to her dressing room to make sure no one has stumbled upon her fucking murder scene, and then has to get back into her white swan garb.
Yeah.
But there's a knock on the door. Someone's gonna find Lily's body.
Oh no.
Hey, you were amazing.
Blake?
What?
That was Lily at the door. Is she a zombie?
This movie's getting weird.
Oh my God. Oh wait, no. Sorry. Nina actually hallucinated the whole fucking thing and stabbed her actual self in the stomach. And she's still bleeding from this stab wound and pulls a shard of glass from that wound. And honestly, though, I'm pretty sure a Band-Aid will just fix her right up.
Oh, dude. This is such a... I literally have goosebumps again. This really fucks me up every time I see it. Because beyond the physical, like, stabbing yourself imagery, it's like, everything building up to this, and she's, like, crying, but then she's like, nope, I'm gonna do it. This is her big moment.
We're back on stage, Blake. Now, Nina is dancing the final number, and the camera follows her around in a motion sick person's nightmare, and when she goes to perform the final death jump, the blood starts to pool around her wound, and she sees Crazy Mom in the audience somehow, and she takes the jump, and... Thomas and the other girls see blood pouring out of Nina's stomach as the crowd cheers unknowingly.
What did you do?
Nina's vision blurs into the credits rolling.
Bro, we fade to white, and it's so fucking good. It's so good. It's such like the perfect way to end this movie.
Yes. I actually have a question for you, and I literally just thought about it.
Yeah.
When you said we fade to white, as you told me in season one, fading to white denotes a dream sequence.
Not necessarily. It doesn't. It can denote death. It can denote a lot of things. In Total Recall, Paul Verhoeven has said that the fade to white denotes a dream sequence. This... I think it makes sense that she dies because the White Swan, Black Swan thing, like that story arc also mirrors her story arc, and she finally was perfect. She's achieved what she came here in this life or whatever to do, and now she can move on.
Okay.
Oh, it's so depressing, but I do believe this is a real thing. I really feel a lot for this movie. This movie gets me. I literally have goosebumps, dude.
It's incredible. This movie had me shook several times. I had to look away, no joke, like 5 or 6 times during the movie.
I don't blame you.
And I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I've seen it before. I had to literally look away. I'm like, oh God, I can't. I'm so uncomfortable.
It's so good, and it's so moving, and it's so emotional. I've seen it a bunch of times.
And Natalie Portman fucking crushes it. Mila Kunis is so good.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, whoever fucking plays Thomas really crushes it too.
Vincent Cassel, and he was perfect for this part.
So was Crazy Mom, believe it or not.
No, she is. She's the perfect, like, crazy type mom for this. There's so much there. Definitely watch this movie.
Oh, absolutely watch this movie because it's very uncomfortable, and I can't have gone through this alone.
This ship is going down, baby.
But you know what? Speaking of ships going down, let's talk about another ship going down in Tyler Durden and whoever the fucking guy talking is named. I don't know.
The ship of capitalism is taking a dive today here. We're going to talk about Fight Club.
Yay!
Movie 2, Fight Club, 1999.
All right, dude. I am so excited to talk about this movie.
Me too.
You're the one that introduced this to me for the very first time, so let's fucking do it. Give me the synopsis for Fight Club. Wait, actually, are we allowed to talk about this?
When a bored white guy can't get over his insomnia, he meets Tyler Durden, and together they start a boxing club. As the men grow closer, Tyler casually starts an extremist cult while our bored guy just sleeps a little.
Accurate.
So we open this movie to our two main characters, nameless guy, who we'll call the narrator, played by Edward Norton, and a guy named Tyler Durden, played by Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Dave, they're just two normal guys, right? Just
two normal, run-of-the-mill white guys.
Just trying to blow up some buildings a little.
Right.
The Demolitions Committee of Project Mayhem wrapped the foundation columns of a dozen buildings with blasting gelatin.
But wait. It's not as bad as it sounds.
Oh, sure.
Probably, but the narrator, he needs to give us some context to this whole thing first. Yes. And of course, in true 90s guy fashion, he blames it on a woman.
I realized that all of this, the gun, the bombs, the revolution, has got something to do with a girl named Marla Singer.
We flash back to the beginning of the narrator's journey from a lowly office worker to a duster-wearing awesome guy / terrorist, I guess.
Yeah.
For now, he's just an everyday guy who has everything in his life that he needs. A big, nicely furnished apartment, a decent paycheck, access to an IKEA catalog, everything.
I mean, the IKEA thing is prescient in even today's world, because have you been to an IKEA? How many things in that store you're like, God, I want that?
I love IKEA. I'm not going to lie. I really do.
I hate that I love IKEA.
Same.
Like so many others, I had become a slave to the IKEA nesting instinct.
But this segment of the film perfectly demonstrates the problem of Gen X versus millennials. Millennials are struggling to buy houses and pay off school loans, with interest rates, everything is super expensive, while Gen Xers are just kind of bored, I guess. Must be fucking nice.
Right. That definitely tracks for sure.
This movie obviously happened before boomers latched on to hating millennials, but it definitely is commenting on Gen X and the ridiculousness of all of this.
Oh, I agree 100%.
For 6 months, I couldn't sleep. With insomnia, nothing's real. Everything's far away.
Anyway, to add to the malaise of mediocrity our narrator is struggling with, he's also dealing with a crushing bout of insomnia. He sees a doctor and begs for something to help him sleep.
Hey, come on. I'm in pain.
You want to see pain? Swing by First Methodist Tuesday nights. See the guys with testicular cancer.
Now, I'm not trying to belabor the point. I've made it already in this episode, but in many previous episodes of this podcast. But seriously, can we just try drugs? Just once. Just for me. Just to see how it goes. It can work for you, man.
Just the tip, just for a sec, just to see how it feels.
You never know. Luckily for a narrator, but unluckily for a drug dealer, he finds that these support groups he's attending, they're working, man. He lets himself cry, and when he cries, he can sleep finally. It cures his insomnia.
Right.
And I just cry myself to sleep, but different strokes for different blokes, I suppose.
Oh my God.
Losing all hope was freedom. Babies don't sleep this well.
Essentially, these support groups are the only way he can sleep, and he finds himself becoming addicted to them.
Yes.
Until one night.
This is cancer, right?
This chick, Marla Singer, did not have testicular cancer. She was a liar.
Well, are you sure?
We don't know. Yeah. Our narrator, as a faker himself, he can't cry, thus can't sleep if another faker is present. And Marla is at all of his support groups. I guess he can't find literally any other support groups in the city. None exist. So he has to give Marla a little talking to.
So you had melanoma, tuberculosis. I saw you had testicular cancer.
I saw you practicing this.
Practicing what?
Telling me off. Is it going as well as you hoped?
Marla is interesting.
She's kind of a badass.
She's kind of a badass. She's wild, dude. She's unstable, but she just kind of does whatever she wants. But when I first saw this movie when I was younger, I thought Marla was like really cool. And now I feel like Marla is scary.
The evolution of Blake.
I'm scared of women. Either way, she doesn't give a fuck about any of this, but she ends up splitting the support group nights with the narrator so he can continue to cry. Fight Club, an emo origin story.
Marla's philosophy of life was that she might die at any moment. The tragedy, she said, was that she didn't.
I love this movie.
Is Marla a millennial?
I might have grown up with a Marla.
I think we all did.
But we'll get back to her in a bit, because for now, our narrator, he's on the road for his job, which, as we learn, is to investigate car crash sites to determine if the accident is bad enough for businesses to issue a recall.
The father must have been you. Did you see where the fats burned to the seat, the polyester shirt? Very modern art.
This is fucked up.
It's very scary stuff.
You know this is how things actually work too.
Oh, 100%. It's 100% how it works.
Oh God, and they show a lot of things. It's really gross, but it totally gets into the point that like corporations are garbage and they will only do things because of money.
Exactly. They literally will only fix things if it costs them less to do so.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
Are there a lot of these kinds of accidents?
You wouldn't believe.
Which car company do you work for?
A major one.
Ford.
Ford, Toyota, GM. All of them.
All of them.
On an airplane, the narrator wakes up to find himself sitting next to a handsome weirdo who sells soap out of a briefcase.
Enter Brad Pitt, his best role ever. Fight me.
No.
And this is how I met
Tyler Durden. Did you know if you mixed equal parts of gasoline and frozen orange juice concentrate, you can make napalm?
Hey, Blake, do you have any frozen orange juice concentrate?
Yes, I do.
We're going to be on a watch list.
Tyler Durden is not your mama's soap sales guy, Dave. He also wears sunglasses and steals cars at the airport. A real bad boy.
Sure.
The narrator returns home to find his apartment has combusted, literally blown up, sending all of his IKEA furniture shooting across the city.
There's nothing up there. You can't go into the unit.
Leaving him with nothing but the clothes on his back and the documents in his briefcase. Fucking bummer.
But also kind of cool.
I mean, we'll get to the cool part because Tyler puts that in perspective. Because do you know what happens when your apartment blows up, Dave? You call the soap weirdo you just met on a plane.
Can you imagine, like, calling someone you met on a plane?
No, I don't even like talking to people on planes.
I met somebody one time on a plane. He was super cool. We texted one time because we were going to the same festival, and then I never heard from him again.
Sounds like me with women. So,
You know, man, it could be worse. A woman could cut off your penis while you're sleeping and toss it out the window of a moving car.
There's always that.
So the two men go to a bar and share a beer, but as the narrator commiserates, Tyler gives him a new perspective. He says the fireworks display, previously known as his apartment, is a blessing, just like you were saying, Dave.
Right.
We've been programmed to want certain things that we don't actually need, and minus being homeless now, that sounds great. It's philosophy, Dave, or
I'm
something.
very wishy-washy on this.
Well, Tyler agrees to let the narrator sleep at his place, but when they're out in the parking lot, he just has one request.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Motherfucker! You hit me in the ear!
Dude, did you know that that's actually what happened?
Yeah, I read that he's actually said surprise me, and Ed Norton literally just punched him in the ear. It's a genuine reaction.
That really hurts.
This awakens something in both men, a primal urge that they and their generation have been missing. The urge to hurt other people because you're in your mid-30s and you wear a tie? I don't know.
They really like fighting. Maybe they should start a club.
We're going to get to that because Tyler and the narrator, they fight in the parking lot, and honestly, it's a pretty good time. So naturally, they begin to do this every week. And people join in. Pain is all the rage, Dave. It's the 90s.
Can I be next?
Like, personally, I've never seen a street fight and thought to myself, hey, those guys look like they're having fun. Count me in. Punch me in the face.
I know, right?
I don't have dental insurance, and I also have linguini for arms, so whatever. I don't want to do this anymore. Either way, the narrator starts living full-time with Tyler in his dilapidated Victorian mansion somewhere in the warehouse district. This house looks like it could give you a yeast infection.
Yes, it also looks like somewhere I would love to have explored when we were kids.
Oh, no, for sure. But also a yeast infection.
I didn't know if he owned it or if he was squatting. Neither would have surprised me.
Infections aside, though, Dave, these fights start shaping the narrator and Tyler and how they perceive the world, right?
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of this is when they're discussing who they would fight, and the narrator says Gandhi and William Shatner.
That part was pretty good.
We just get to cruise around town with these guys as they become like kind of macho dirtbags.
Yeah, it's super macho dirtbags. Which, like, aside from the macho dirtbagging thing, it would be so fun to just walk around town pretending you would fight everybody.
I wouldn't know. I don't go outside. So, fuck. So these weekly fights, they move from the parking lot outside of this bar and into the basement, and it starts to formalize in a way.
Yes.
We got a name for the club. It's called Fight Club, and
interesting choice.
It's a straight to the point name, but we also have some rules for Fight Club.
Yes. What are the rules, Blake?
First rule of Fight Club is do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
There's 8 rules, but blah, blah, blah. Who no one cares. It doesn't matter.
But wait, hang on. I'm a little concerned.
Why?
I know I've made jokes before.
Yeah.
But like the first 3 rules say we shouldn't be talking about this.
And then we keep talking about it.
Is someone gonna come for us?
Yes. Rules aside, what does matter about this is that Fight Club starts to become an ethos more than just a club. It's an idea that seems to shape the participants' lives.
We all started seeing things differently. Everywhere we went, we were sizing things up.
On top of this, Marla, remember her? Scary girl from my past? She comes back into the picture and starts fucking Tyler.
Oh, God.
There's a lot to this.
I mean, your worst enemy fucking your, best friend.
And I watched this movie with my mom once.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was awkward.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I forgot about that part.
Move on.
What I'm trying to say is that we're dealing with a group of highly sophisticated adults here. Everyone's fine, and nobody needs medication.
I haven't been fucked like that since grade school.
Jesus Christ.
So between being Tyler and Marla's go-between when they aren't having sexual relations, the narrator is helping Tyler steal human body fat from a liposuction clinic to help make soap, you know?
Oh, no.
All while getting bombarded with Tyler's nihilistic messaging.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
This does kind of sound like college philosophy major kind of thing.
It totally fucking does.
But like the way Brad Pitt delivers it, it's like, oh, okay, this is how cults are started.
I was gonna say, man, I'll join a Brad Pitt cult.
Everyone wants to tell themselves like that they would never fall for this. I could never join a cult. But if my apartment exploded, I'd join a cult while I was waiting for the fucking fire department, Dave. I'm susceptible.
Yeah, this is why I can't be too far from you at all times.
I need a leash.
How are you, Bob?
Better than I've ever been in my whole life.
Really? You still remaining men together?
No, I got something so much better now.
What is it?
Well, first rule is I'm not supposed to talk about it.
I wonder what it is.
So the narrator runs into an old friend from the testicular cancer support group one night, a guy named Bob, played by Meatloaf, rest in peace, rest in loaf, and Bob has joined Fight Club, but he goes on a different day than our narrator.
Oh, weird.
This is how our narrator finds out that Tyler has been expanding Fight Club without his knowledge, and on top of that, he's getting all the credit.
What a dick.
Have you heard about the guy that invented this thing? Do you know about Tyler Durden?
And not only that dick punch, but Tyler also starts giving out homework assignments to Fight Club members, like starting fights with strangers and losing.
This is starting to unravel pretty quickly.
Like, pretty quickly, honestly. But Tyler isn't the only one who's stepping up his game, Dave. The narrator himself, he picks a fight to lose with his boss. Kind of.
Yeah.
He beats the shit out of himself in front of his boss and essentially frames and blackmails his boss into giving him equipment and his salary in exchange for silence.
It's incredible. This scene is probably the best scene I've ever seen in any film.
It's so good.
Telephone, computer, fax machine, 52 weekly paychecks, and 48 airline flight coupons. We now had corporate sponsorship. This is how Tyler and I were able to have Fight Club every night of the week.
Dude, this is so fucked up.
Dude, who would have thought that a violent fighting club would escalate? There's no way.
This is like Major League Machiavellian mode, dude. Like, on top of this, though, Tyler's homework assignments to all the Fight Club members, they become more and more publicly destructive, I'd say.
Yes.
They're putting out disinformation campaigns. They're blowing up computer stores, giving laxatives to birds over car dealerships. And the most 90s form of social terrorism is taking magnets to all the VHS tapes at Blockbuster.
Fucking Bastards they are.
Things are really getting out of hand.
Sooner or later, we all became what Tyler wanted us to be.
And speaking of escalation, people are showing up now to the narrator and Tyler's house, and they want to join their group.
Seriously? What is happening?
This isn't Fight Club anymore, Dave.
No.
These are Fight Club members who want to join a more exclusive group where you have no names, you wear all black, and you do back-breaking chores for no money. This is the cult. This is the cult part.
This is the cult part.
This is
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, to be clear. Okay.
Space Monkey, ready to sacrifice himself for the greater good.
It's been named, this cult, it's been named Project Mayhem, which I think was named by an 8th grader who was bored in social studies, but whatever. I'm not here to judge.
You fell for it either way, so.
It's true. I'm stupid.
You are not special. You are not a beautiful or unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everything else.
Tyler built himself an army.
So our discount brand neighborhood terrorists are now upgrading to full-blown citywide terrorists, Dave.
Oh, Lord.
They set a huge building on fire with a smiley face painted on the outside. Everyone is in the living room and they're laughing, but the narrator is freaked out. He has no idea about this, dude. I'd be like, holy shit. Things are getting so serious, but apparently not that serious because the narrator helps Tyler and the cult to threaten the police commissioner into stopping his investigation into Project Mayhem.
That scene is fucking bonkers.
They dress as the waiters at this big event, and then they kidnap him in the bathroom.
They threaten to cut off his nards.
Tyler gives them the rundown.
Look, the people you are after are the people you depend on. We cook your meals. We haul your trash. We guard you while you sleep. Do not fuck with us.
With that issue, off the table, the narrator and Tyler can finally have it out. They haven't been seeing eye to eye exactly, obviously. The narrator's mad at Tyler not telling him things, domestic terrorism and stuff.
A small issue of domestic terrorism, yeah.
Small issue, but Tyler's mad that the narrator isn't diving headfirst into this nihilistic insanity and letting go with him.
Right.
Look, you decide your own level of involvement.
I want to know what you're thinking.
Fuck what you know. You need to forget about what you know. That's your problem. Forget about what you think you know about life, about friendship, and especially about you and me.
This whole interaction results in, just a run-of-the-mill car accident, I guess, on purpose. And the narrator is basically in and out of consciousness after this wreck for an unknown amount of time, only to wake up and find that Tyler is gone and Project Mayhem is running full steam ahead.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of heads, Bob, remember him? He gets shot in the fucking head.
Oh, no.
They shot Bob. They shot him in the head. His name is Robert Paulson.
Come on, guys,
His
please,
name
stop it.
is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson.
This is over with.
This is when the narrator realizes he's got to put a stop to this whole thing. He has to find Tyler.
He does.
The narrator finds Tyler's plane ticket stubs and flies around the country himself, chasing his trail. He's always one step behind Tyler until the floor basically drops out from underneath him when he has this interaction.
Welcome back, sir. How have you been?
Do you know me?
Is this a test, sir?
No, this is not a test. Who do you think I am?
You're Mr. Durden.
Oh my God! It was a narrator all along. Dave, did you see that one coming?
Honestly, the first time I saw this movie, I did not.
I didn't either. Honestly, this fucking blew people's minds and is what they kind of like remember most about this movie. So the narrator confirms this, that he is Tyler. And then guess who shows up? Him, Tyler.
Huh?
It's himself.
Wait,
Tyler.
Is it a mirror?
No, it's him, but it's they're both there.
Oh.
He's hallucinating Tyler. They do the thing. He shows up in his hotel. Whatever. They have a little chat.
Why would anyone possibly confuse you with me? Say it.
Because we're the same person.
That's right. You were looking for a way to change your life. All the ways you wish you could be, that's me. I look like you want to look. I fuck like you want to fuck. I am smart, capable, and most importantly, I'm free in all the ways that you are not.
Basically, when the narrator was asleep, Tyler would take over. And when they were together, sometimes it was him imagining himself as Tyler, and other times he was just talking to no one.
Crazy.
But I do want to point out here, if you think back to when Fight Club first started, right, in the parking lot of the bar, random people saw the narrator just punching himself in the face and thought, hey, this guy's
I
right
want to
idea.
be friends with this guy.
Right.
Although I gotta be honest with you, if I saw somebody punch themselves in the face, I'd be pretty curious.
I wouldn't ask them, though. I would watch from a distance, maybe film it on my cell phone, and then post it to WorldStar.
I would probably be like, hey man, are you okay?
I'd call somebody. I would not get involved. Straight up. But either way, Tyler takes off. Well, wait. Tyler takes off from the hotel room, but the narrator just becomes Tyler while the narrator was asleep.
Yeah.
I guess we don't see it because he goes ahead with some Project Mayhem planning.
Oh, God.
It's called a changeover. The movie goes on, and nobody in the audience has any idea.
So anyway, the narrator, we're back. He's conscious again, and he's got to stop himself, Tyler. He's got to stop Tyler.
Good luck, Tylerator.
I'm just going to call him Tyler for the rest of this movie.
Okay, great.
What the narrator finds out is that Tyler and Project Mayhem, they plan on blowing up a bunch of credit card company headquarter buildings in an effort to erase everyone's debt. Because that's how that works, apparently.
Sure. Yep.
But the narrator's effort to stop this isn't as easy as just like calling people and warning them, hey, somebody's going to blow up their building, because as we saw earlier, everyone is in on this. Every working class person in the fucking city is involved in this operation.
It's crazy how he cannot find anybody who's not part of Project Mayhem.
Literally. So there's one thing left to do, of course, and that's turn yourself into the police.
Yeah.
I need you to arrest me. I am the leader of a terrorist organization responsible for numerous acts of vandalism and assault all over the city.
This is a great idea, right, Dave?
Sure.
No.
Yeah. Oh, no.
It's not a great idea because we find out that the police officers that he's talking to, they're fucking involved too.
Oh my God.
They want to literally cut off his balls to stop him from interfering with Project Mayhem.
Which I guess is the price to pay.
Get away from me! Drop this fucking knife! First person who comes out this fucking door gets a lead salad, you understand?
Luckily, after wrestling the gun away, he escapes from the cops and he gets to one of the buildings that they plan to blow up, you know?
Yeah.
He finds a van full of nitroglycerin.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
But here's the thing, Tyler keeps popping up to fuck with him.
God damn it, Tyler. Isn't that himself, though?
Yeah, but I'm just going to call him Tyler. It's Brad Pitt. He's back. He also shaved his head.
Oh.
But this scene is hilarious. They're in the basement, and it's Tyler and the narrator. They're arguing back and forth in front of this van full of nitroglycerin.
God damn it, since when is Project Mayhem about murder?
The buildings are empty. We're not killing anyone, man. We're setting them free.
We see them fighting back and forth, you know, actually Brad Pitt and Ed Norton fighting, but we also see security footage of the narrator just throwing himself downstairs and through windows. He's dragging himself on the concrete. It's fucking great, dude.
It's fantastic, actually.
Whoa! You are now firing a gun at your imaginary friend near 400 gallons of nitroglycerin!
He may be a psychopath imaginary person, but he's got some good points.
He's still got brain cells working. But after their fight, we cut back to the opening scene where Tyler holds a gun in the narrator's mouth as they wait for the explosions of the buildings to start. The narrator, after all of this stuff and all the time I guess he had to think on planes flying around, he realizes that he's actually in control of the situation. It's him after all, right?
Yeah, totally. He has turned the tables on himself.
I wish I could.
Oh.
I can figure this out. This isn't real. You're not real. That gun isn't in your hand. That gun's in my hand.
The narrator has the gun now from Tyler, and he puts it to his own head, which Tyler is not super stoked about. Then...
Why do you want to put a gun to your head?
Not my head, Tyler. Our head. I want you to really listen to me. My eyes are open.
The narrator puts the gun in his mouth and fires through his cheek, killing his alter ego, Tyler Durden, leaving himself alive. Mostly.
Sure.
It's wild. And the way this is shot, too, it's like slow motion. We see the explosion like in his mouth and it blowing out his face. It's so gross.
It's so gnarly.
And right on time, too, because the other members of Project Mayhem, they show up to party.
Oh, my God.
Are you all right, sir?
Oh, yeah, I'm okay.
The members of Project Mayhem, they have Marla with them because they thought Marla was going to ruin their plans, essentially. But they bring her up to the narrator, and she's really fucking confused and angry, as she should be.
Yeah.
She starts to kind of help him patch his face, but the narrator has some calming last words for her as the buildings around them all begin to explode.
met me at a very strange time in my life.
Roll credits.
Oh. Bro. Fuck.
This is a dense film, and my recap doesn't even come close to hitting everything. So I definitely recommend watching this movie. If you love psychological thrillers, action, dark comedy, this movie has it all. Great performances, writing, of course, the classic David Fincher directing. Dude, this movie is so good.
It's fantastic. It's one of my top movies of all time. But honestly, it's weird because whenever I think of my top movies, I always forget about it.
Dude, me too. And when we were talking about this episode, we were doing our planning here for season 3. We said psychological thrillers, and I'm like kind of looking through things and doing a little research on what could be what. This movie pops up, and I was like, yes.
Oh my God, yes.
I love this movie, and I haven't seen it in years. And then when you said Black Swan, I was like, I love that movie. It's one of my favorites too, and I haven't seen it in years. So
it's
this
fantastic, yes.
Oh, this is great. And this movie just has so much going for it, and I can see why it went over a lot of people's heads when it first came out.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It took decades of people not liking this movie for it to finally start catching. People understanding what they were watching.
Dude, totally. It was way ahead of its time, but also the marketing didn't help because the marketing was, how do you market a movie like this?
Yes.
I get the conundrum, but they actually marketed it as like a Brad Pitt tough guy action like boxing movie. Essentially.
Oh.
And then when you go see the movie, you're like, oh, this is this is not that literally at all.
Not even sort of.
Fight Club barely has anything to do with this movie, essentially. It's more of a catalyst than anything.
I was going to say, it fucking spirals so fast.
It's brilliant. It's so funny. Anyway, there's a lot I have to say about this movie and a lot I'm gonna say about this movie. And I think the really tough thing is going to be really hashing out which one is the better psychological thriller, because these are two great movies.
Yes, they're both really, really fucking good. And I think we should just get to it.
I think we should, man. I really think we should.
Let's fight our way through this and lose our minds doing it. And get to the Thunderdome.
I'm halfway to insanity, and I'm gonna lose a fist fight, but whatever. It's fine, sure. Dave.
Cool.
Movie versus movie. Welcome to the Thunderdome. This place fucking rules.
Oh, buddy, Dave, we're back.
Thunderdome!
I restarted my medications, and I'm ready to battle this out. I'm feeling very clear-headed now.
I have had plenty of sleep, and I'm not an insomniac right now.
Thank God.
My imaginary friend has other things to say about it, though.
Let me know when he gets back. I want to join a cult. So before we watch these movies, Dave, you and I, we decide on 5 things that we both agree make a good genre movie, in this case, psychological thrillers.
Yep.
So let's go through them.
I would love to.
Number 1, we need a mentally unstable main character.
Can we help them find all of their marbles, please?
Number 2, we need an uneasy atmosphere.
I can't unclench my entire body.
Number 3, we need a plot with twists and turns.
Honestly, what the fuck is happening?
Number 4, we need a shocking reveal.
Yeah, wait, what happened?
And number 5, finally, we need a breakthrough ending.
Finally, we've broken through the crazy spell. I'm gonna hop right into it with mentally unstable main characters. Because Black Swan has one of the most realistic mentally unstable characters I think I've probably ever seen.
Yeah.
Through the stress of being pushed to be the best dancer by both her mother and herself, and I'm not really sure she really even wants to do it.
Right.
Nina is driven to the point of insanity. She has hallucinations, panic attacks. Honestly, she loses her shit entirely to the point where she doesn't even realize that she's not actually growing feathers.
It's wild, but I think this is also relatable. You know, I push myself really hard. I put a lot of pressure on myself to do a lot of things. Yes. So to see this played out, it's almost traumatizing in a way because it's hard to watch at times.
It really is. I agree with you 1,000%.
And in Fight Club, the narrator, despite not being in a padded room, is the most insidious kind of unstable main character, in my opinion. Yes. He's just a regular guy.
Regular, sure.
Ish. He seems like a regular guy.
There we go.
It's clear by the end, though, that the instability has been there the whole time. But it starts with insomnia and lying to testicular cancer patients until he's full-blown hallucinating made-up versions of himself. And
it's crazy.
I don't want this to devolve into like a battle of the crazy between our main characters, though, because I don't think that's the point here. I think the point is that the main character's instability properly sets up and echoes the narrative and themes of the movies we're talking about. And here, our narrator feels like he's missing something primal and dangerous in his life.
Oh, God.
You know, hunting with sticks, I guess, or something. I don't know. But through this like mental instability, he finally achieves that wholeness he was searching for. And for the record, this is not a good thing. I'm not condoning this. Get therapy. That's literally not even a joke. You should fucking get therapy. I wholeheartedly believe in that.
Yeah, because when you don't get therapy, you end up being a little bit uneasy, I'd say.
Yeah, it's uneasy. I'm glad you said it, because that transitions us nicely into our second point, uneasy atmosphere. I love the atmosphere of Fight Club.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like a continuous hum, like you just got back from a concert and you have that little ringing in your ears, you know, for the rest of the night.
Oh, I can agree with that.
Yeah, it's like a lot of psychological thrillers have this dark, quiet sense of atmosphere, but Fight Club is right up in your face and confronts you with all the fucked up things in society that bothers our narrator. It keeps you on edge through the whole thing, and I think it perfectly sets you up to experience this movie and tells you what kind of movie you're really getting into.
Oh, yeah, I can agree with that. I don't find it as uneasy as I find Black Swan's atmosphere to be, because this entire movie made me extremely uncomfortable. And I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Between the weird dream sequence, Nina thinking she's seeing herself everywhere, her fucking weird wounds that keep popping up and disappearing, not to mention how creepy her mother is, treating her like a small child, even though she's fucking 28 years old.
Oh, yeah.
There were so many points where I had to look away or my whole body was just like...
Oh, dude, we didn't talk about this, but like Nina's 28 and her room is filled with like cute little stuffed animals and stuff. Her room is a child's room.
100%.
That made me super uneasy because she's like struggling. She's an adult, but she's like trapped in this adolescence by her mother. It's gross and it feels bad.
It's very gross. And see, that's the thing is we see her being treated this way, all while finding out that she's just a 28-year-old ballerina dancer who has to do her best dancing and turning and twisting. And you know what? We're going to go right into our plots, twists, and turns.
You wrote that.
Totally. I had no idea how to get there. We're just going to jump right into plots, twists, and turns. So this plot has, I don't know about your head, but my head spinning within 30 minutes. Is she crazy? Is her mom the crazy one? Does Toma want to sleep with her? Is everyone but Nina crazy? Every new scene introduces basically a brand new turn.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like, is she actually seeing the things that she thinks she's seeing? Even when we don't know they're outright hallucinations.
See, the difference for me, though, with Black Swan is that, like, I feel like it's set up immediately from the beginning that she has issues and she is seeing things. I felt like she was just devolving, which is fine, and it works for that narrative. But I didn't feel so many twists and turns in this. Whereas, like, Fight Club... This movie's all over the place, dude. It's more montage than direct narrative film, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But how quickly we go from a boxing club to full-blown terrorism is wild.
It's insane.
Things are happening and shifting all the time, and what's so unique about this is that by the time you realize what's happening, it's way too fucking late.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And the narrator experiences this too. Like, there's so many threads and side stories and, like, anecdotes and things that keep you occupied while there's no way you can guess what's coming next.
Yeah, most of this movie totally catches me off guard.
No, for sure. And that kind of transitions us nicely to shocking reveal. So I mentioned this earlier in my recap that I was going to come back to it, but if there's one thing that the general public remembers Fight Club for, it's the twist.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, the narrator and Tyler, they're the same person. I mean, it's a great reveal, and in 1999, it hadn't really been, like, overused.
No, absolutely not, no.
And I also think what helped it work so well is that this movie didn't telegraph a twist. Like, watching it back, you can see the obvious groundwork being laid for it. Mm-hmm. But like I said with my last point, so much is going on that the reveal catches you so off guard, and it's incredibly shocking.
Yeah, it blew my fucking mind the first time I saw it. Now, the only thing is, though, is that with Black Swan, there's not like a specific point necessarily that's the shocking reveal, because the whole movie is just a slow burn reveal. However, I would say that the most shocking reveal-esque thing that they have in the movie is that Nina hallucinated a whole sexual encounter with Lily, or Mila Kunis. I'm not saying that I can relate to that, but anyway. The fact that it's basically revealed that Nina has fabricated the entire third act in her head that's not actually her dancing on stage was actually pretty mind-blowing to me.
And not to fight you on your own fucking movie or point, but for me, the shocking reveal of Black Swan is her realizing she stabbed herself. I can see how, like, you could leap there easily, but I remember watching this movie and I was like, yep, fuck. And you realize from that moment that she's probably gonna die because she would rather perform than get medical assistance.
Yeah.
But to your point, there's multiple little shocking reveals throughout this movie.
Mm-hmm. All of the reveals really set up the fact that Nina Sayers is out of her fucking mind.
Yeah, and it pushes you towards that natural conclusion at the ending, you know?
Yeah, the breakthrough ending. And Nina has a huge breakthrough in the end. She finally lets go of her hangups and goes full psychopath so she can really nail the dance of the Black Swan. Well, she actually just becomes the Black Swan, which feels like the wrong kind of breakthrough now that I'm thinking about it.
I don't think that's true. I don't think she becomes the Black Swan. I think she leans into herself, and through all this struggle and strife and everything like that, she does achieve what she set out. She lets go to then break through and give her best performance ever.
Yeah, and die.
I just argued your movie. But but I love them both, and I can't help
Appreciate that.
But what I do love about psychological thrillers in general are these end moments where we get a new understanding.
Yeah.
In Fight Club, our narrator realizes that, hey, maybe instead of blowing up buildings to feel like a man and have meaning, maybe I could just get a girlfriend and join a book club or something. Like, there's other ways to do this.
Yeah, probably. I would say so.
Obviously, it's too late by the time he realizes his major fuck up and he can't solve it. But I think the ending in Fight Club gives hope that now the narrator, he understands himself and his condition a little better. He can move forward in a positive way. You know, minus the destruction of all of downtown, I guess. Just move to a new city.
Yeah, sure. Nobody will know.
But either way, regardless of all these points, I think I'm going to say this a million times. I'm sorry, Dave.
Okay.
Both of these movies are great, and you should watch them. I think they are both wonderful examples of psychological thrillers.
Hard agree. Absolutely, you should watch these because they're both fantastic psychological thrillers.
But now I think we have to get to the hardest part of this episode, and maybe the hardest part of this show for me, maybe ever.
Oh, shit. Okay.
This is a tough one for me. We got to decide who's the winner, who takes home the award for First Prize Films and gets their trophy in the mail.
Yes.
Do you send it to Brad Pitt or Natalie Portman? Sorry, Edward Norton.
Sorry, buddy. Not about you.
Hey, look. We did it. It's the finish line. We're at the finish line. Can I go home yet? All right.
Well, you know what, Blake? We're at the finish line.
We are.
And as much as I love both these movies, I don't think I love them as much as you love them, which is not to say I don't love them, which is just to say, to really highlight how much you love them.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch you squirm over which one to pick. So
I'm
going
already
to go
squirming.
first.
I finished watching both of these movies and I was like, fuck.
I'm going to go first.
Great.
And I honestly have not thought about this at all.
Oh, okay.
Mainly because I was like, dude, it's fucking Fight Club. You can't beat Fight Club.
Right.
You can't. It's Fight Club.
Capital F, capital C.
Capital C. Fight Club. You know? and then I rewatched Black Swan. I'm like, oh, this is actually really fucking good.
Yeah.
So I legit, I don't know which one I consider to be the better of the genre.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lie. I do, and I don't want to say it. I already have so many hot takes. I think that as good as Fight Club is, I think Black Swan is the better psychological thriller.
That's a fair choice and a mature choice, Dave. I think Black Swan is, again, one of my favorite films. It's a classic psychological thriller. It's so deeply emotional for me.
Yes.
Like I said, it hits so many things, and it's almost triggering in a way, you know? Like, it's so anxiety-inducing. But we kind of know what we're getting into with that movie. With Fight Club.
No.
With Fight Club, you go in expecting one thing.
No.
And by the end, the only thing you can ask is how the fuck did we get here? It not only shows our main character's psychological journey, but it puts us as an audience through our own psychological journey. Everyone talks about Fight Club in the context of the big twist and reveal, but this movie has so much more to say and is the best kind of psychological thriller. One that you don't even know you're fucking watching until it's too late. Fight Club is my choice for psychological thriller for First Prize Films.
Fucking what?
It is. I think it's the perfect kind of psychological thriller. It's a backdoor one.
But see, the thing is, to me, it's psychological, but it wasn't thrilling in the sense that I think of in terms of psychological thrillers.
I think what is great is that crazy people don't know they're crazy.
Yeah.
And our narrator in Fight Club doesn't know he's crazy, and neither do we. So by the time we find out he's crazy, it's a psychological thriller. It's like it pulls the wool over your eyes so well, and I think it is executed so perfectly, and that is what needs to happen for a psychological thriller. That is not dunking at all on Black Swan. I think it is an incredible example of the genre. I do, and I love it so much. It's still one of my favorite films. I think Fight Club is the better psychological thriller. For sure.
I just think it's psychological sneak attack.
I think it nails exactly what a psychological thriller should feel like to an audience and to the characters. It nails it.
I don't agree. It's not. Psychological thriller films are meant to make you feel uneasy.
This thing makes me feel super uncomfortable. It's gross and.
But the thing is, when you get done watching Fight Club, after you've seen Fight Club for the first time, you're like, wow. Wow.
Yep.
Right? You're so blown away by it. The first time you get done watching Black Swan, you're like, what the fuck did I just watch?
I agree.
Holy shit.
Totally
and
agree.
that speaks volumes. How can you not say that's better as a psychological thriller than the one where you're like, that was really fun and cool?
I also think at the end of Fight Club, you say, what the fuck did I just watch? Because it started out so, you thought you were going to get into a movie about these like sexy dudes punching each other in a basement. And now you're getting into like fucking terrorism. It's so good, Dave. I think it is a perfect example of the genre. But that leaves us with an exciting first episode, I guess, of the season. We got to go to Tiebreaker, dude.
Oh, fuck.
It's on you.
Oh, it's my turn?
It's your turn, which doesn't bode well for me.
This is the captain. Red alert. Red alert.
Welcome to the Tiebreaker.
Okay, I got somebody, dude. I'm gonna call my buddy Andy.
Oh, cool.
Hello?
Hey, man.
Hey.
So we're recording an episode of the podcast, and we came to an impasse. We are watching psychological thrillers, and we can't decide which one is the better between Black Swan and Fight Club. So you're our tiebreaker. We want you to tell us which one you think is the better psychological thriller and why.
Okay, so that's a tough question. So
Yeah,
better
totally.
psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go with Fight Club.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
It's the right answer.
Honestly, man, it's just such a mind fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's true.
it really is. So don't get me wrong, Black Swan, great.
Totally.
But as far as just messing with your head, just like you said, psychological thriller,
Mhm.
Fight Club, hands down.
Damn.
It's a hard choice, but I appreciate it.
Blake wins, right?
Yeah, so Blake wins. Well, I guess technically he doesn't win, but
No,
Fight Club
no.
wins.
Fight Club
technically.
wins. We all won because we got to
That's
watch the
fine.
movies.
Blake wins, just like that.
Thanks, Andy. I needed that in my life.
You're welcome, Blake.
Well, thank you, sir. You have figured out the problem for us, and we will catch you later.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. Well,
Wow.
great.
I'm not mad at either of these. Again, I wouldn't be upset if he chose Black Swan, but he said it himself. It's a hard one. They're both great movies. He had the same conundrum we did.
He did, and he made a choice. I don't agree with it necessarily, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's a great
Everything's
start to
fine.
season 3.
Yeah, if you disagree with me and you agree with Dave, let us know on one of the many, many outlets that you can probably find our addresses on. Don't show up at my house.
Yeah,
Cut this out.
Why
Cut
would you
this out,
invite
Dave.
this?
So we did it. Fight Club is our official first prize film winner this episode. Dave, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. You know, I mean, I love Fight Club. It's a brilliant fucking movie. It does fuck
Agreed.
with you a lot. It didn't make me uncomfortable. It's just a fun movie. It blew my mind for sure, but it did not make me uncomfortable. And that's what I feel like psychological thrillers should do. So that's why I picked Black Swan.
You know, that's fine. I'm going to talk about this probably in my testicle support group later this week. Wait, they had just cancer, didn't they?
Yes.
Mine is just support. It's
Oh,
me and a
you
bunch of jock straps.
Oh, wait. Hey, First Prize listeners, thanks for tuning in to the Season 3 premiere. Thanks for powering through these mental breakdowns with us.
Aw.
If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed hearing us hallucinate in real time, consider subscribing to our socials. It's at First Prize Pod on all platforms, and that includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on TikTok and YouTube as well. Also, don't forget to check out our website. It's firstprizefilms.com.
Yep, we do this for free because Tyler Durden helped erase our debt, but if you'd like to support us, consider rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts or come hang out on Twitch. We stream every week, talking about movies, having some laughs, and chatting with all of you.
It's a really good time. Join us next week as we run from creatures in these action creature movies.
Oh, we're talking about Deep Blue Sea from 1999 versus Predator from 1987.
Classic. I've not heard of Predator, though.
Fuck off.
See ya!
Bye.
I'm not letting you do a different ending. I'm not. That's the ending. You could try and tell me we're doing another for safety. This is the one that's going in, okay?
Fine, whatever.